Dream girls and sleepy boys, put on your sand-repellent goggles, pour yourself a double shot of Sleepspresso, and follow the movement of mein pocket watch. Your eyelids are feeling so heavy.
Because it's a dream told to me.
Welcome back. I am Omen Thomas Sade.
And I am Nick McGill.
Together we are the voices known as the Feckless Momes.
And this is the delivery of said voices. Talk Tell to Me.
A 50-minute monitored nap in the Prog Rock Sleep Institute, in which Nocturnal Nick and Ocular Movement Omen will hook up an electroencephalograph to measure the brain wave of every single song that homeostatic rock band Jethro Tull has ever dreamed up. We will take a heavy dose of Martin Barr melatonin, take long-term readings on the David Pegg polysomnograph, fight our way through the fatigue-induced Jerry Conway cognitive impairment, and hold on to the Rick Sanders somnolence. And if we dive deep enough into our own subconscious, we may encounter the white noise machinist, the soporific sultan, the prince of the pillow, the deacon of delta waves, Ian Insomnia Anderson.
That was a hefty one.
That was.
It was very good, though. Far be it from me to give you punch-ups and notes.
I offered to send it to you.
But you really missed out on nocturnal emissions, Nick.
Oh, I feel like we've used that one before.
I don't think so.
There's only so many words in the English language, Nick, and I think we've said all of them.
But it's how you put them together.
Oh, now I know.
Now you know that. Now you know how to speak.
Nick, we are closing in rapidly on the end of Crest of a Knave. I don't know quite how that happened, but here we are.
Very, very quickly. We sped right up to the end. We are halfway through the second side, track B3 out of B5, so we are almost there. Today we are discussing this sweet sleepy song, The Waking Edge.
Is this not the penultimate track off of this album proper?
It is the anti-penultimate.
And after this we have Raising Steam, and then
Part of the Machine.
But that's a bonus track.
Is it?
I think Part of the Machine is a bonus track. I think it was added later. Yeah, I don't think it's part of the original album.
Well then, I could go get the vinyl that is 4 feet that way, but it's outside of the booth.
Don't strain yourself, Nick. Remember what your PT said.
Yes, he said, don't strain yourself.
That's right.
Okay.
So here we are today talking about The Waking Edge.
That we are.
I'm excited about this one. This song holds a very special place in my adolescent heart.
Why do you still have that adolescent heart? And why do you keep a song in there, you sick bastard?
I'm too nervous to drain out the formaldehyde.
Shall we dive in? Shall we listen to this?
Let's edge on up to The Waking Edge and take a listen.
Watch your step.
Nick McGill.
What? A delight. That song.
It's so freaking good.
How lovely. How I every time I listen to it, I just pick up more nuance. It is so delicately, it's like fine lace. It's so delicately crafted, and you have to keep examining it and experiencing it to notice all of these subtle craftings.
Experiencing the Lace by Nick McGill.
Oh, yes. That is my autobiography specifically about the time when I was a lingerie designer, purveyor, and consumer.
That's the chapter. That's a chapter in your overall autobiography.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple of volumes, though, so it's...
I like the metaphor as well because lace is only attached to itself. It doesn't have a backing. That's what makes it so difficult to make. And this song it seems to hold together without any underpinned structure.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of the other songs that we have, there's no one element that drives us all the way through the song. It's all these, like you say, these delicate threads, one overlapping the other in a supporting each other in a non-Newtonian way.
Non-Newtonian lace.
Non-Newtonian lace.
Oh, it's tatting. Tatting. To tat is the verb to create lace. Tatting is all of those intricate little sewings and
nice.
knittings. Yeah, what a lovely tune. Just really, really pleasant and mellow and sweet and mournful. And yeah, there's a lot packed in this baby.
I'm going to struggle to remain objective as we talk about this song because it does hold such a dear place in my heart. But one of the things that I love about it is, it's about 5 minutes long. It's 4 minutes, 30 seconds long.
Yep.
The entire first minute and a half is prelude, and it gives itself space to really build that world.
That's the kind of flowing, wave, oceanic pulsing of the instruments. We've got the flute trilling in the background like a fluttering bird. That acoustic picking and strumming is just absolutely gorgeous.
The synth straight off the bat.
The sustained synth gives you kind of that air of mystery.
That drone, yeah.
That's the dream. That's the dream. That's our dream sequence here.
And yes, exactly. If, performed live in my imagination nightly, this is the dream ballet part.
Oh, there are definitely at least 3 ballerinas, if not more.
Yeah. Stay after the album for the Late Show. So, yes, I think you're 100% correct. And in that dream space, we have the sustained synth that we talked about kind of setting the stage. Mm-hmm. We have the bass, which seems to be almost like a dream predator stalking its way through this forest.
Yeah.
And then you have the flute and the acoustic guitar, which I believe is Ian playing the acoustic.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Creating those, that foliage, those other animals, those birds. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of, I may have talked about this before because, I'm a big slut for Ravel.
I love Ravel.
I think it's it's one of the later movements of the Daphnis and Chloe suite. Mm-hmm. It has this whole introduction which uses kind of a similar technique. It has all these slightly discordant, slightly asynchronous flutterings and trillings that all build to create this picture, and then it drops into the main theme.
Yeah.
But it really creates that sense of dawn, that sense of a dream half being dreamt.
Yeah, it's really potent. Is there, right before that fade out and drop out, is there a key change in the organ?
Let's go to our hymnals.
There are a couple of different sound changes, but none of them seem drastic enough. I could be completely wrong.
I don't know if that's a key change, but it's certainly a big chord change which leads into the main theme.
I guess it's just 2 chords leading into, like you said, giving us that kind of preview sound. It's the cusp on the waking edge, but those are a lot brighter than what we've been hearing for the last minute. So I think probably that's the difference. Another
fun thing in this intro is Jerry Conway giving us those non-even percussion moments that ta 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 ta.
Not in time with anything, just very, again, just like you said, like the different animals and the different atmosphere for this.
It reminds me there's a percussion sound that is used, I think, in kabuki theater.
Ooh.
Where the percussionist will go da, 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 da 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 da
Yeah.
da 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 da.
With those really, really thin sounding cymbals.
Yes,
Like
yes,
tinny
yes,
almost.
yes.
Yeah.
Or a wood block, maybe. I don't know.
Scary, very scary sounding, which, I mean, it's kabuki, so.
Come back to our other podcast, Kvetch Kabuki to me.
I'm so glad you went with kvetch. There's nothing funnier than talking about Japanese culture with Yiddish words.
And then later we'll have Nosh and No. Okay.
Sipsaki and Samurai with me.
Oh, that's good.
There we go. That fade out legit fades out. It's not like it goes really quiet and then goes in. Like, we do have a brief moment of silence there
Before the piano comes in.
before the piano comes in. And then at 1:30 is really the end of the intro, I think, and it
Yes.
really comes in. And then we have Martin. Then we have electric in there.
The edge of a half-dream glowing.
Yes, although what's interesting to me, and maybe we're hearing this in a little bit different ways, but I'm fairly certain that most of the guitar that we hear is Ian, because it is mostly acoustic. There is electric, yeah. Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Martin is in this song, but I feel like the electric guitar is almost subliminal. It's sublimated within the body of the rest of the song. And to me, like if you look at the instrumentation, we have the piano. Who's playing it? We have the organ. Whomst did programmed. We have the flute, and we have a ton of acoustic guitar. And so this feels like a very personal song to me, Ian-wise.
Yeah. We still have bass. We still have drums. We still have Martin.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, the bulk of it is Ian-led for sure. Yeah.
The Ianosity is at a high level.
It is. It is. But I think once we get through that transition, most of it kind of falls and kind of congeals into a little bit of a structure, except for Martin's guitar.
Tell me more about that.
He does those random stings here and there. They're not quite in time. Most of it is just plinks and stings and this and that. And I feel like we just heard that recently, and we just heard, I think you might have read it out of a book that Martin said that like this was one of the, somebody said this was one of the best Martin albums because,
I think Martin said that.
oh, Martin said it? Yeah.
And I think Ian also said it. I think both of them feel really good about his work on this album.
Yeah. That he's finally free, you know, he's finally comfortable, and he's not under this the strictures of something, like something switched.
Yeah.
And we've heard a couple of other songs on this album where he kind of walks. He kind of takes the guitar for a walk.
And in this context, it gives us that sense of that feeling when you've woken up, but you occasionally have that little moment of relapsing into microsleep.
Yeah, you're not quite out yet.
It feels like the guitar is maybe one of those forces that's gently tugging on you to go backwards.
Now how do I catch the waking edge as it slips to the far and wide of me?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's got the characteristics of everything in that dream intro. It's the only thing that has that, but it's got that underlying. It's basically the images of the lovely woman for the lyrical aspect of the song.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well said. I love Peggy's contributions to this song.
It's so nice. It's so mellow and sweet and just very, it just carries a lot of emotion. He can deliver so much with the bass.
And so simply, I love
That's exactly what I was going to say, yeah.
on the first, didn't I try to hold it down? The bass goes dum, 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 dum.
Didn't I try to hold it down.
And it's just, it's grounded. It's so good. It's so good, Nick.
The next line, freeze on the picture, hang sharp on the sound, we've got backing vocals.
Freeze on the picture, hang sharp on the sound.
Yes, harmony.
We've got harmonization. I don't think it's Ian. It doesn't sound like Ian. It sounds like it's probably Peggy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was Ian doubled up, but you could be completely correct.
I think it's a little more... I think it's more harmonious than the Ian harmonies.
The standard Ian
Yeah.
double grumble.
I'm just going to pitch it down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds high enough to be Peggy, I think.
Speaking of Ian, I am obsessed with his voice on this track.
Yeah.
It's gravelly. It's got, I can see the comparison to Mark Knopfler. But I could also see somebody comparing this to early days. Cooking up a Filipino box spring.
Oh, Tom Waits?
Tom Waits.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's as if Tom Waits tried to sing in the style, in the delivery that Mark Knopfler does.
It's like if Tom Waits sat down one day and unsmoked a pack of cigarettes and drank 3 glasses of anti-whiskey.
So, water and some cardio.
Yeah.
He would have to unsmoke way more than just a single pack of cigarettes, I believe. And not gargle with hot asphalt.
Every time he coughs, a full cigarette falls out of his mouth,
Yeah.
ready to be smoked.
Yeah, he passes them on to the little people.
To the kids.
Yeah. In front of, let's see, Another Time, it's Catch the Waking Edge. Another Time.
Catch the waking edge. Another time.
He does a little heh. And then another, like just after that, just after Another Time, we get this funny little guitar ba in between Another Time and Familiar Shadows.
Familiar shadows in my hotel room.
Basically, it's a guitar E-Jack instead of a vocal E-Jack, but it's really cool.
Do you reckon that's Martin just coming in with a quick comment?
Without a doubt, yeah.
Okay.
It's electric, yeah.
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Unless Ian went over and plucked it, which he could have,
He threw a ping pong ball.
and got him right in the guitar.
The thing that's cool about Ian's voice and then the acoustic guitar, which is being played so prettily, it provides this wonderful contrast between the dark and the light, the warm fondness and the lack of one's desire, and the melancholy, the heartache. It's so fine.
Yeah.
What's that poem, Nature's First Gold is Green, the hardest hue to sheen? Nature's first green is gold, the hardest hue to hold. That's it.
I've never heard it. I don't know.
Let me look it up.
Look it up. This has been the most stop and look up episode we've ever had.
Is that? It could be.
It is. We've never gone back to the song to re-listen to it many times.
We have.
No. It's usually like one.
Nature.
And then we just blindly guess the rest of the episode.
First green is gold. By your friend and mine, Robert Frost.
Robert Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson Frost. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold, her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief, so dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay.
That sounds very Robert Frost.
Robert Pattinson Frost.
Robert Pattinson. Robert the Frost Pattinson.
Green, like the Riddler.
At about 3:19, it's the only place I heard it. It only lasts for like a second. It sounds like there's a little synth violin in there. It sounds very stringy to me.
Didn't I try to hold it down?
It is not synth violin, Nick. That is the one and only Rick Sanders.
That's right. I forgot he was coming in.
I reminded you in my introduction.
I forgot in the introduction.
I offered to send it to you.
You're right.
Yeah, no, that's Rick Sanders making an incredible contribution and really reminding us why we love strings in Tull.
I wish it was a little more evident. I'm going to have to go back and try and find it again. But it's so pulled back. It's so, and with everything so subdued to begin with, the fact that it's so difficult to hear that, it's got to be like a mixing thing, or maybe that's the only part he played. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he only comes in for that middle half, that middle third.
Okay, yeah, I definitely have to re-listen to it then.
Nick, anything else to say about this incredible, subtle masterpiece, The Waking Edge?
Just the same thing I think we've said about every song on this side, that fairly quick fade out. Lovely, beautiful. And in my mind, sonically, Raising Steam is right there. Right there. I've never had so many songs consistently, even the albums that I've listened to on repeat. Like War Child, I could tell you exactly what song comes after the next one, but sonically, I'm not anticipating it.
Yes, whereas this one, yes, I understand.
This one, like, Raising Steam has to happen, otherwise there's no closure.
Now the sheets are cold beside me.
And this is such a good setup for Raising Steam because you have all that acoustic sound. You have Martin, just hinting here and there. You have this slow pace, and then ska-da-da, ska-da-da, ska-da-da-down. Oh my God,
crazy
I love it.
synth, yeah.
The only other thing that I want to point out about this is Ian's beautiful little ornamentation at the very end, his little last guitar note. Scoot-a-little-little-lee.
Yeah.
Fast fingers.
That fade out is really lovely.
It's great.
It's kind of unexpected if you didn't know the song. Like, it happens very quickly. And I think that's super poignant and potent for this song specifically.
It's a poignant preuntable.
That it is. It's one of those.
Nick, why don't we step into my blanket fort here?
Okay. I brought my pillow and my binky.
Take a break. I brought my cheese sticks.
Chocolate milk and cheese sticks.
Yeah. All right, make yourself comfortable. Try not to sit on the Legos.
Ow! Oh, yep.
So I did say.
Yep. I know. As I was sitting down, though.
What?
And
What?
why did you put them under the blanket?
Oh, to put the out of sight, out of mind. Otherwise, I get distracted by them.
Out of sight, out of mind,
Into butt.
into ass, yeah.
Nick, what have we to talk about here in our midway break?
I've just got two little things to talk about, both little nuggets that have come to us from YouTube.
Oh, yes.
We had some great positive responses on the Gnunga Gap video that we had.
Nick, does that mean that we are going to be doing more visual episodes in the future?
I don't think we'll be doing
Who knows?
Talk Tull to Me proper episodes, but I think we'll play around with it, sure.
Maybe some Talk Tull to Me improper episodes.
Definitely that. Yeah, YouTube Red, baby. On top of the Gnunga Gap episode, we also did, remember, we did the Rockeflute
Yes, we
episode,
did.
the
Yeah.
pronunciation, and we had user Zeb, or Zeb, Zeb, Z space EB, user Zeb.
Okay. Yep.
Let us know that a direct translation from Norwegian of Rockeflute is smoke cream.
Now we know. Smoke cream.
Which sounds kind of good, like a smoked cream on a dessert.
A smoked cream, yeah, I would.
I could get around that, yeah.
Or a creamed smoke. If you could take smoke and make a cremeux.
Yeah, pour in some actual smoke while you're whipping the cream.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And thank you, Zedeb.
And also from St. Pius X Catholic Church on the Gnunga Gap reaction video.
Did you say ex-Catholic Church?
St. Pius X Catholic Church.
Oh, I understand now.
St. Pius the 10th
Yep.
Catholic Church, I suppose.
Yep.
Or is it That's not a versus, right? I guess it would be V. St. Pius versus the Catholic Church. It's my favorite comic book series. From St. Pius ex-Catholic Church, greetings. I am Fred, a Tull fan since 1968.
Wow.
OG, maybe he is St. Pius. The year I graduated high school. I've thoroughly enjoyed Ever the Journey for all these decades. Seen countless numbers of concerts in many cities around the US and Canada. Just wanted to drop a word on you. It's ancient Hebrew from Genesis. Tohu vuvohu. It describes the nothingness of the earth or the watery chaos from which God created order.
Oh, yes.
The Catholic
nice.
Gununga Gap. The Hebrew Gununga Gap.
I think maybe it's Pius X as in collaboration with the Catholic Church. You
Yeah.
know how they do Doja Cat X.
Yeah.
Versace.
St. Pius FT Catholic Church.
Yeah, it's a collab.
Or it would really be Catholic Church featuring St. Pius. I mean, let's be honest.
It's cross marketing.
Yeah, that's good. Back to Fred. That being said, thanks for your insights and obvious enjoyment of all things Tull. In my opinion, Thick as a Brick 2 and Homo Eroticus are, in essence, Tull albums. Bold stance, Fred. Bold stance. But who am I to argue? We all have our opinions about Tull. We all have our tastes on Tull. And if you enjoy those albums enough to work them into the rotation, then yes, they are Tull. Because it is Ian Anderson and the Jethro Tull Band.
Fred, I want to say, first of all, that we are honored to have you listening to us. The OG Tull Skulls are truly the shoulders upon which we sit and twiddle our thumbs.
Right.
And so it's just a pleasure to have you listening. Secondly, I think that this illustrates the point of the illusion of the division of things. Of all the illusions which we are subject to, the illusion of the division of things is one of the most difficult to break. The idea that there are Tull albums and non-Tull albums, and there is an I and there is a you, that's all nonsense. There is just is. And is Tull. Tull was, will be, and are.
Wow, you're questioning. I see you are like having a moment. You need to absorb and digest what you just said. Are you having an existential crisis right now?
I blacked out.
What were we saying 2 minutes ago? I don't remember.
Anyway, thank you, Fred, for writing in. Thank you for watching the YouTube videos. And please, we'd love to hear more about your journey with Tull.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What's your jump start? Sure, the year you graduated high school was 1968, but how did you know? Did you listen to the Blades? Did your older brother get This Was? Were you the older brother who had This Was? Who knows? But thank you, Fred. Thank you. Oh, I think I hear Mary coming in with our warm milk.
Hey, me young scholars. I see you have your blanket fort. I've brought you your milk, and now I've got a magic trick.
Okay.
I'm going to turn this blanket fort into a Dutch oven. Oh.
Mary.
not
Mary.
nice.
Mary and Dairy. Nary.
mix.
Nary mix.
Let's get out of here and get some fresh air.
I'm going to throw up. Here we are, the second portion of the episode. We are talking context. And I feel like this is definitely a lot less confusing than, well, I guess Mountain Men wasn't that confusing. This is a lot more straightforward than Mountain Men was. We needed a lot of context for Mountain Men.
Yeah.
I think we kind of know what we're dealing with here on this song.
And that's not because it's a simple subject.
Oh, no.
It is because I think it is common to the human experience to sleep, to dream,
To sleep, perchance to dream?
perchance to dream. And in that dream of death, what dreams may come.
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull. But genuinely, I don't know if I've ever spoken about this on the podcast, but I have often been fascinated by dreams. I actually wrote an entire play about dreams that was partially devised from the dreams of the participants.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And so I have a particular fascination with the nature of dreams, where they come from, what is their relationship to our waking life. And this song is so fascinating because it is about the edge between dreaming and wakefulness, the waking edge, which is, as far as I understand, a complete original phrase. I don't think anyone has ever used that.
Yeah, I think the concept has been explored countless times in literature and songs and stuff,
Sure, absolutely.
but I've never heard this used specifically for it.
Often we hear about, the edge of a dream, okay? Kind of like you're sneaking up on a dream, but this is on the exit of the dream
Right, yeah.
and trying to hold on to that dream space as the realities of your biology are waking you up because of your circadian rhythms.
Yeah, or your or your child is listening to his music and singing at the top of his lungs at 6:15.
Is it Black Sabbath that he's gotten into?
It was, let's see. Oh, no. Ray woke up. We woke up when he was singing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher.
Oh.
And then when she went into his bedroom, he was singing Beastie.
Really?
He loves that song.
Wow.
Loves it.
What a
Yeah.
nerd.
What a nerd. I beat him up as soon as I got in
Took
there.
his lunch money. Let me give you some lunch money. Now, shake out your pockets. As I wake up in a room somewhere, the dawn light not yet showing it.
As I wake up in a room somewhere, the dawn light not yet showing.
I love that somewhere is added. To me, that
Yeah.
helps to add to the personalization of the reality of Ian's tour life was he was always waking up in a room somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you're traveling a lot, I'm sure you may have experienced this. A lot of our listeners will have experienced this. That momentary sense of like, "Ooh, where am I?
Yes. Yeah.
What city am I in?"
I even had that after we did the move.
Sure.
Yeah. I was like, which bedroom am I in right now?
And then there is just a thin horizon between me and her, the edge of a half-dream glowing.
There's just a thin horizon between me and her. The edge of a half-dream glowing.
Oh my God, I just want someone to paint that.
Yes. Yeah. The curvature of the sheet over the body and like the sun just breaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I felt her in my dream last night. Strange how the sheets are warm beside me.
Well, I felt her in my dream last night. Strange how the sheets are warm beside me.
Reminds me of that more modern song. Last night you were in my room. Now my bedsheets smell like you. I'm in love with your body.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. Well, I'm in love with your body.
The Ginger Man singing it.
Oh, is that Ed Sheeran?
It's Ed Sheeran, yes, the man who looks like a little troll.
The man who was inexplicably in one of the later episodes of Game of Thrones for some reason.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Totally ruined the experience for me. It was awful. And of course, he was like a random soldier sitting around a campfire and he sang a little bit. Oh, it's awful.
He was at an award ceremony and someone like Lady Gaga, he was wearing a vest and a white shirt, as he often does. And Lady Gaga tried to hand him her empty champagne glass because she thought he was a waiter. Anyway.
He deserves it.
So this notion of being away from, well, I guess I'm interpreting, but what it's describing is feeling like you have something in your dream and then waking up and realizing that you don't and trying to hold on to that. I imagine everyone has experienced that at least once.
I would think so. Yeah. Whether it's something that you actually have but don't have with you at present, or something that you really yearn for.
Have lost, perhaps?
Have lost, yeah.
Or just desire.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like a piece for piece, everybody can relate, but there's enough there. There's enough there that people can pull something out of this. And that general feeling of missing something and longing is, I mean, it's human. It's a human experience.
even before I was lovelorn, I had a dream that recurred a couple of times or an experience where I would have a dream about finding a pirate's treasure hoard, like a chest of gold, and being so happy that I found this buried treasure, this real, chest full of pirate gold, and just the feeling of joy and positive, like, yes, I deserve to have found this. I don't think I've ever replicated in my real life. And then waking up and just for a couple of brief moments being like, oh my gosh, my life is just all good from here on out. And then realizing I did not, in fact, have a chest full of lost pirate gold.
I am not a badass pirate.
I'm not. And just that, the deflation from that, the emotional deflation, I still remember that vividly, even, as when I was 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And of course, being lovelorn and having had a sordid, checkered past, I can remember lots of instances of dreaming about someone and then waking up and having that ache in my back from having a bad mattress.
You just wanted to date someone with a good mattress. Given yours and my similar track record with relationships for the longest time, I'm shocked I didn't gravitate to this one for the same reason.
Because I'd already called it.
You did. You called dibs. I guess that's why, yeah. Shotgun on being emo. Oh, man.
This wasn't as big of an album for you, I think, as it was for me in those days.
That's true. I listened to it, but you and I had kind of like, we pulled our own weight in terms of Tull. The ones that I shared with you never really clicked with you because I'd been listening to them for years. And I was so much closer to them. And the same way, when you bought a CD, I got it from you. I like burned a copy of it. But you were so much more into it already.
You bought a copy of it with your own money and paid it to the royalty pipeline. That's what you meant to say.
No, we burned it.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the stutter. Well,
and partly that's because, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but we are actually different people from each other.
Oh yeah, it's not a multiple personality thing. I'm not just doing a different voice. There are actual pictures and videos of us as separate entities.
Here's something that I want to point out about the lyrics of this song that I find really fascinating and very of a time, very nostalgic almost. He describes the process of trying to, now how do I catch the waking edge as it slips to the far and wide of me?
Now how do I catch the waking edge as it slips to the far and wide of me?
Well, that's sort of a very timeless way of describing it. But then he says, didn't I try to hold it down, freeze on the picture, hang sharp on the sound?
Didn't I try to hold it down? Freeze on the picture, hang sharp on the sound.
He later says, what button do I press for rerun?
What button do I press for rerun?
I love the language inspired by the technology of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, do you remember when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, you'd be watching a PG-13 movie and you'd try to pause the videotape right when they'd show the boobies so you could finally see what they looked like? Of course, you never could actually pause it at the right moment.
Yeah.
33 minutes and 59 seconds to find a little worn out spot on the VHS of Charlie's Angels.
I was wondering what movie you were going to go with.
But I love that he builds that into the description of a dream. And I mean, who of us hasn't thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to wake up and have a VHS cassette of my dreams from last night that I could just plug it in and watch, or an MP3, or it downloads it into a file. And they actually have that technology now. I heard about a study where you can think of an image in your head. I guess this isn't quite dreams, but you could apply it to dreams. You could think of an image in your head and a machine will 3D print the image that you see.
No, that's nope. Mm-mm.
I volunteered, but they were like, please, we have enough penises.
There's only so much big black plastic that we can work with. Oh, that's terrifying. But I think, yes, the idea to like, oh, I've now got some form of physical media of the dream that I just experienced, but also just the ability to hit pause or to rerun something, you know?
And then what is amazing on a meta level is that is what this song is doing.
Yeah.
He had a dream and he used the technology which was available to him called a pen and paper.
Called singing a song.
But really, that is a technology. I mean, songs and stories and poetry, that is one of our oldest, most powerful forms of technology.
Yeah.
He used that to capture some element of the dream and be able to relive it over and over and over again. And not only that, but share it with other people. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm very curious to know the songs that like stem from something like really personal for Ian. Do they still stir him now? So many years later after singing them so many times, you know, I wonder if the effect is still there.
Does the sad boy poetry that you wrote in high school still stir you?
I don't have any of that anymore, so I
burned it all.
I think I may have actually burned that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just thinking about that.
That's interesting.
Maybe it's a different connotation now, you know, like, oh, that's what I was feeling now. And you kind of, there's a remove now, but it's like, it's almost like silly or less potent. Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak to it.
Maybe he thinks of it and just has really, really fond feelings for all the money it made him.
I mean, that also could be it. How many times has Waking Edge been performed?
Ooh, golly. This is always a fun game. I don't imagine it's that many because I think it would be a little bit of a strange choice for a concert.
Agreed, yeah.
But I bet that they did play it when they were touring the album. So I'm going to say between 30 and 50.
Very good. 39.
Look at that.
34 times in 87, once in 88, and then all the way up in 93 they played it 4 times.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. I would like to hear, I think this could be really nice in just an acoustic set. It
Yes.
could be a good song in acoustic. That'd be nice. Now, I want to pose. I know the answer is no.
Strike a pose.
But could this be something else? Could this be like a one-night stand and the girl is gone?
Nope.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean, there's a little bit of it there.
I see that, but I think you would have to, like Cinderella's stepsisters, you'd have to cut off part of the foot of this song to stuff it into the glass slipper of that interpretation.
You really got to squint. And I'm a sucker for the romantic anyway, so.
And then Martin Barr would come flapping down and say, "There's blood in the shoe! There's blood in the shoe!"
And then peck David Pegg's eyes out? Maybe?
Maybe.
The birds peck out the eyes of the evil stepmother, I believe, right?
Do they?
I believe so, yeah.
It's nice.
Classic.
Dreams, Nick.
Dreams.
What is a dream that you have had which somehow influenced or affected your waking life?
I was going to ask you a very similar question. I have a dog shit memory, so like I just don't remember my dreams a whole lot. Whenever anyone talks about dreams, the dreams that come to mind are the fever dreams that I had when I was really, really little and got sick every holiday. And I'm pretty sure they were the same dreams that reoccurred every time.
Wow.
But I think I just was hallucinating with a fever, I believe. So I'm not sure that really counts. Honestly, I can't think of one that really, really sticks. Ray's dreams are a lot more vivid and regular. Yeah. What about you?
Well, at various points, I've kept a dream journal, and actually, I've done some research about this. I've read some articles that I found online, and apparently, for people who don't habitually remember their dreams, you can train yourself to remember your dreams. Anyone can do this.
Yeah.
And so what you do is, and I did this over a couple different periods. When you're falling asleep, you take a few moments lying there in bed, and you say to yourself over and over again in your mind, upon waking, I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams when I wake up. I will remember my dreams when I wake up. And you seed that. And then the key is to keep a notepad by your bed. And as soon as you are conscious, immediately take the pen and start writing down any recollection that you have, even if it's a feeling or a single image. Because what will happen is as you're writing, more stuff will come too. You can kind of anchor it on one image and then more details will come. And if you do that for a couple of weeks, you start having better recall. So I remember a lot of the dreams that I wrote down. I remember one time I had an amazing dream about, I think it was when I was in Paris, and I was on one side of a big set of train tracks, multiple tracks, and I was on the wrong side. I was trying to get to the platform on the other side. So I jumped down onto the tracks, and I was about to run across the tracks to go to the other platform. And as I was making my way, kind of stumbling and jumping along, suddenly the figure of the Grim Reaper was like, doom, right there in front of me, and put his hand out.
Twist.
Like, stop. And it took me back because it was so terrifying. And right at that instant, a train blew right in front of me.
Wow.
And passed by at super speed, and then it was gone, and the Grim Reaper was gone. And I was like, death just saved my life. That was the dream.
It's not your time.
He was like, hold up.
That's really interesting.
It's just some images.
Do you remember anything that you can tie to it from your waking life around that time?
I lived near some train tracks, so I think that was an image that was, and I probably felt like I was on the wrong side of my life.
Oh, interesting.
I had a bad orientation toward my life, but I don't know what death represented except for death.
Well, the death card in tarot is change. It's not necessarily death, Maybe there was something of that in there.
Maybe it was almost like you're going down a path of destruction. Like you said, it isn't your time, so better slow down.
Yeah. Interesting.
Slow down, you're going too fast. You got to let the moment last. Da-ba-da, squeedly-dee. Feeling good and being busy.
Is that from a musical?
I think it's Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, Garfunkel.
Garfunkla.
Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy.
Nick, anything else? We've gotten way off piste here. Anything else to say about The Waking Edge?
No, that's it for me. I am pretty enamored with this song. I think it is absolutely lovely and sweet and really hits that romantic spot. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've had a romantic song.
I would put this firmly into the missing Shona bucket.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. I think it could be paired with Home, maybe.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice pairing. As the dawn sun breaks. You've got the dawn metaphor, in both.
That we do.
Well, I felt her in my dream last night. Now the sheets are cold beside me.
Nick, what are we schmacking about next week?
Well, theoretically, this may be the last track off of the album with a bonus track. Not sure. Don't know. You decide, listener. But it is track B4, the 9th off of the album. It is Raising Steam.
Oh, another one of my favorites, Nick. Excited to talk about it next week. Until next week, hey, didn't I try to get a 5-star rating? Well, you can give us one by sending in a review and a said rating to your podcatcher of choice.
The best button to press for Rerun is the subscribe button on our Patreon. Then you'll get access to all sorts of content in between our weekly episodes.
There's just a thin horizon between you and some Talk Tall to Me branded merch, including t-shirts and hats, which you can wear to let anyone else know that you are an extremely I lost the train of thought of what I was saying.
Dreams.
Until next time, I am still here for the taking, Omen Thomas Sade.
I am a familiar shadow in your hotel room, Nick McGill.
And we are what you felt in your bed last night, the Feckless Momes.
And this podcast seems to linger on as the streetlights fade. Talk Tull to me. My shift is it's just about ending. So I think there's some notes I need to give you. He just went to sleep.
Oh, okay, great. That's great. Oh, early tonight. That's nice.
Yeah, I think there's a show tomorrow. So he ate cheese, so we kind of have free license to do whatever we want.
Okay, great. That's good. I have some dream material that I've been meaning to test out for a little while. We're trying to clean out the subconscious because, you know what happened last time.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Therapy. And we don't want that again.
Right.
So, I can do that. Any images from the day, from wakefulness you want to put in there? Anything you've got to process?
I started pretty simple. I replayed the memory of him sitting and drinking tea in the kitchen.
Good. Nice.
But I changed the cat into a small version of his mother.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, great job.
It's subtle. It's really subtle. I don't think he noticed it. He seemed pretty mellow.
Looks like we've got our regular 3-cycle programming here, so I'll probably start out with some vague misgivings. Put in a couple of stop signs with a different color on them.
Oh, interesting.
And
Yeah,
I was thinking
like that.
about doing a chase scene with an animal. I don't know. Is that too much?
Well, I mean, it depends. Is he being chased or is he doing the chasing?
I was undecided. Yeah, I could go with him chasing. That could be good. Empowerment.
Right. I was thinking give him a little hope before we maybe do a switcheroo. Don't get him too comfortable. Oh, the printout. What is this?
Oh, okay. Let's see. It's late night coming in about the evening meal. Oh my God. He had jalapenos.
Wow, jalapenos and cheddar cheese.
You know what?
It's interesting.
You know what? It's party time here.
We are authorized to release anything at this point.
Bring open the sluice gates.
All right, so let's make him dream. Oh, I have an idea. Let's do a little reincorporation.
Great.
This time, he is chasing his mother, the size of the cat.
Who's made of cheese.
Oh, made of cheese.
Yep. He's also got tentacles for legs, and he's moving through Jell-O.
Oh, nice. This
This is great.
Yeah, and he's not wearing pants.
Nope. No pants.
Obviously.
He's going to be stopped by a sexy tree who's going to ask about his taxes.
Okay. And even though his taxes may be in order, he forgot to file a very important form.
This is great. Let's do a test run. Oh, he's loving it. Loving it.
Reaction is very positive,
This
actually.
little feet kick. It's so cute.
I love it when they do that.
I'm going to bring in some carnivorous rabbits.
Okay.
That's good. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. They are. Yep. Okay. That's good. They're eating the cheese mom. That's good.
I've been wanting to do this one for a while. We're going to go nuclear war, but everything is made of mushy peas.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. We're going to turn the salmon farm into Disney World, but
Okay.
also it's upside down and in Russian.
Okay.
It should be good. Yeah. Oh, look at his heart rate.
Ooh.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. We're really giving him a. Okay. This is a dream I've been considering. I don't know if it's a. It's a
You know
little
what?
too
Throw it in.
intense. Okay. So we're gonna make him think that he's. Let's do like 40 years in the future. He's like a really successful musician now, and then he finds out that two like random people that are like old enough to be maybe his grandkids are doing like a podcast
Oh my God.
about him.
That's so sick. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Programming. Enter.
Okay.
Oh.
Talk to me protocol.
Yep. Oh, it looks like he's in the nightmare zone.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Good. It should be a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make an announcement in his brain. This will help to make everything. He'll know he's dreaming.
Really resonate. Yeah.
Talk to me is a proud member of the Feckless Mom Zodiac Network.